Okay, so I'm gonna go over this video, because I think it's kind of interesting how people view themselves in society. Um, and so let's just get into it.
Friends can talk you into doing things you know are wrong.
Yeah, when like some if I like find a friend that like I found out like they're like maybe like talking bad about someone or like doing something that they know that isn't right, I'll try and like stop talking to them, like avoiding them so I don't like go do the same things as them so they don't like pressure me into doing it.
Well, I think that when friends start listening more to their friends than they do their parents, I think it's because there's a lack of parenting. Because if your kids don't trust you, or if you don't spend enough time with them, they're gonna find they're gonna find that love on the streets with their friends. So I think that if a kid is, you know, brought up correctly with a good family, I think it really helps because that kid's gonna make better decisions.
I disagree with this prop 100% because me personally, when I was like 13 years old, I had a I had a bright future in boxing. I could have been a star because like I have big knuckles, I have long reach, and like I was 13 years old. I was fighting people twice my age, and I was beating them. But I started hanging around in the streets with so-called friends, and I thought they looked cool smoking. And I tried to do it, and then I started smoking, and then I started drinking, and then I stopped going to the gym. Personally, for me, like I won't let anybody else dictate like my future. Like I'm my own person. I make my own decisions.
Okay, so he talked about how he makes his own decisions. He doesn't let anyone dictate his future. And his friends didn't influence him. But then he immediately tells a story about how his friends did, in fact, influence him to start smoking. Because influencing someone doesn't always mean, hey man, you gotta smoke this, you gotta do this, you gotta do that. Sometimes it's just seeing people enjoying something, and then you're like, man, I would also like to take part in that thing. And that is what happened with this man. He saw someone enjoying something, smoking, and then he was like, yeah, I'm going to take part in that. And that influenced him. Influence doesn't always mean I'm telling you this exact thing to do. Sometimes you might just see someone do something and you're like, I would like to replicate that. Um, and then the other guy, his point was, um, uh, kids, if they don't have like parents who are kind of structured, if they're not good parents, then they will be much more easily influenced by their peers, than a child who would be influenced by good parents, which is true to an extent. But I also think about how people often forget that, okay, so humans are the apex predator. And why are humans the apex predator? Because we're smart, compared to other animals? To an extent, yeah, maybe. But not really. That's not really why we're the apex predator. Like, individually, each human, even though you may be smart, you wouldn't get very far along without other humans. The reason we're the apex predator is because we are the most efficient pack animal that will ever exist. We could fucking hate each other and destroy mountains. Like we could do so much as a collective. And that is why we are the apex predator. So we are pack animals, and so as pack animals do, we also have like a social standard within the pack, like each animal has its own rules, own laws of nature. And um it's very easy, and especially since we are smart, it's very easy for us to like see a specific member of our pack, our social circles, doing something and being like, yes, I want to do that. Like we are going to be influenced by the people around us because we should be. We are pack animals. We should be influenced by the things that are around us, or by the people that are around us. And again, influence does not always mean, oh, you got to smoke this, you got to do this. It doesn't mean someone directly telling you what to do to be influenced. It could be you're at the store and you see someone very rude to the cashier unnecessarily, and you can just be influenced by that interaction to be like, man, you know what? I'm going to be a little nicer to my cashier or future cashiers because these people are dealing with some bullshit. Um, or you could have a cashier that was unnecessarily rude to you, or you see them being unnecessarily rude to someone else, and you are influenced by that interaction to be like, you know what, fuck these cashiers, I'm gonna be rude to them. um yeah, influence isn't just a clear cut demand of someone to do something. Influence is what you see around you, how you were taken, how you were raised, for sure, but also um like your peers, the people who are going to affect you most in your society are the ones that you are growing up with. um and so it is a big deal when your friends are pressuring you to do something. um yeah, I just think it's a very interesting notion when people say, no, no one can ever influence me, I'm in charge of myself. And it's like, yes, to an extent. But as a social creature, we also want the admiration, the validation, the warmth, the welcomeness of our peers, of our pack, of our family, our friends, or whatever it is. Um, and so yeah, and they don't have to be demanding something from you in that moment for you to have been influenced by them in some sort of way. Um, yeah, so I think it's a very interesting thing. Like, I thought it was a very interesting prompt to bring up. Like, yes, yeah, we are influenced by our friends, we are influenced by people we hate, we are influenced by people we are completely neutral to, we are influenced by everything around us. um because we are smarter animals, we are also like, and we have a whole depth of emotions, not like things that aren't even necessarily social, to our pack, um, influence us. Like, let's say you got shit on a bird, like shit by, you got shit on by a bird, right? That may influence how the rest of your day goes. You then might be unnecessarily rude to someone, and then through that interaction, um, the person behind you is like, wow, that was really rude of that person. So they're influenced by that, and they decide to be a little nicer. Or, you know what, that puts them in a funky mood, and then they're just kind of pissed off that they saw someone get pissed off, because we love to just fester in our anger as humans. Like, it's a thing we like to do. Um, so yeah, honestly, all a long-winded way of saying, yeah, we are absolutely influenced by our friends and the people around us because we're meant to be. We are social creatures, we are pack animals, so the things that our pack does will definitely influence us. So yeah, you know. But let me know what you guys think. Am I just fucking nuts and rambling, or what did you think?